In the wee hours of 2nd March 2006, the city of Nairobi is cold and deserted. Inside I&M building, journalists are preparing for news, while in Rekoni Road, newspapers are being printed for the day. But as soon as all this could happen, mass goons raid 2 of standard media houses. They destroy computers, burn down newspapers, and seize printing equipment.
My first thought was, oh my goodness, my body is going to be found violated and dumped somewhere in some forest.
The big question was, who were these people?
You, KTN, I nearly came to your studios last night to attack you.
What were they after?
Ni mambo ya state security.
Was it an orchestrated attack?
If you want to rattle a snake, you must be prepared to be bitten by it.
The Standard newspaper is one of the biggest and the oldest news media in Kenya. It was founded in Mombasa in 1902 by Alibai Mola Jivonji. During then, it was known as the African Standard. Over the years, it was sold to different individuals, and through that, its name evolved from the East African Standard to the Standard in 1977. For Kenyans, it has been a source of value and information with a market share of 48%. With the big growth, they had huge responsibilities on their shoulders of delivering information to Kenyans back when it was ruled by one-party KANU and a ruthless dictator. They relocated their headquarters from Mombasa to Nairobi, which was the capital city of Kenya. The independent media was a crucial tool in the 24 years of dictatorship of Moi by exposing KANU major corrupt scandals like the Goldenberg scandal and the Turkwell hydroelectric dam. They even helped Kibaki with his election campaign when only state-owned media, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, was only showing KANU campaigns and blacking out opposition rallies and speeches at the time.
The day when I said in public, at a public meeting, that the opposition should unite to take on Moi. And the next day's headline on the story was, Raila says, let's fight together.
With the help of independent media campaign,
unaniuliza kabla halijatukia bana, si lazima ungoje ujue kama wametangaza ukweli ama wamehongwa. Lazima hiyo ugoje.
Mwai Kibaki rose to high office in December 2002, being elected as the third president in Kenya after 24 years of single-party KANU ruling Kenya.
2:09 p.m., the familiar green presidential standard, which has dominated state functions over the last 24 years, was lowered for the last time.
Mimi Mwai Kibaki naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
Few months after being sworn in, Standard published a sensational headline claiming that Kibaki had a second wife by the name of Mary Wambui. The impact of the story was so big that Kibaki had to issue a statement disowning Mary Wambui.
This is my wife, Lucy, and I want to state something that I've wanted you to hold dear and permanently in your heart. You know, and I know, and everybody else knows that I'm married and I have only one wife. And everyone in Kenya knows it. But the media keeps repeating about my having another wife or wives. I want to make it very clear that I have only one dear wife, Lucy, who's here.
Ask now or never. From here you go right more lines. I'll be with you. Now as the president. You have been tormenting us. I don't know what to get out of it. You, KTN, I nearly came to your studios last night to attack you.
What made the story to attract more public attention is the fact that for the 24 years Mwai was in power, he was never seen with his wife in public. The enmity between the press and the first family seemed to have cooled down for some years until 2005 when shit hit the fan again. Sunday Nation published an article on how the First Lady Lucy Kibaki disrupted a farewell party at the Nairobi home of outgoing World Bank County Director Artur demanding he turns down the loud music. Diop had rented one of Kibaki's property in Muthaiga Estate, and in fact they were close neighbors. 2 days later, after the incident, in May 2nd, 2005, it's reported that the First Lady stormed Muthaiga police station and demanded the arrest of diplomat Diop and his guests. Interestingly, the police did not execute her order, since Diop and Mr. Kibaki were close diplomatic friends. This angered Ms. Kibaki even more. The Standard got the story and they published it on their newspaper. It was an exclusive story of how the president's wife stormed Muthaiga police station while wearing her night dress. Miss Lucy Kibaki, the First Lady, was alerted about the story at the police incident, which spiked her fury, and she decided to take action. At around 11 p.m. in 2005, the city of Nairobi was cold and deserted. The president's wife is about to storm media station. The president's wife, accompanied by 6 of his bodyguards and Nairobi Police Chief King'ori Mwangi, entered the Nation Center media station.
At 11:15 p.m., most Kenyans would normally be calling it a day, and last night was no different. But at the heart of the capital, Nairobi, journalists were covering a most unusual story under very unusual circumstances. The president's wife had invaded the Nation Center, protesting what she claimed were false and malicious reports written about her and her family by all leading media houses in the country.
She gives a 5-hour lecture to editors and journalists, slapped her cameraman KliffOdar with a workstation because of filming her.
An agitated Mrs. Kibaki at one point slapped KTN cameraman KliffOdar hard across the cheek, wondering why he was taking pictures. She also instructed journalists not to take any notes and confiscated a cell phone from a journalist who was sending a text message.
I heard that you are looking for me at Muthaiga police station. Just to do the report about that one and write about it. I don't care.
Please, First Lady, please.
Give me that film.
Please, First Lady,
You can't
please.
put it my picture in your paper. No.
Please, First Lady, please.
Give it.
Please, First Lady, please.
She also demands to be provided with the reporter who had made the story.
To drive her point home, the First Lady staged a sit-in at the newsroom and threatened not to leave until the reporter who had written a story alleging that she had stormed the Muthaiga police station earlier in the day had been arrested by police.
While protesting in fury, she seemed to have picked the wrong newspaper station. In her hand, she is waving a copy of the Standard, not the Daily Nation. She then proceeded to the Standard media station and ended a drama at around 5 a.m. And just like that, this incident became an internet sensation and international story. After a series of media attacks by the First Lady, Daily Nation was on the spot again. They had published an exclusive story claiming that His Excellency Mwai Kibaki had collapsed in statehouse, hitting his head against the staircase. The paper also claimed that this was the reason why Kibaki was hospitalized in Nairobi Hospital during his early days of presidency. The paper was forced to retract this story and offer an apology after State House denied that the president had fallen. Suddenly, those in power had a feeling that the media had gone rogue after Moi retired. It was also a concern that there were instruments used to undermine President Kibaki's government. Amid the chaos and media frenzy, a secret meeting was held at the State House. 2 newspapers articles were brought to the meeting as intel leaked to the National Intelligence Service by Amol. One of the articles claimed that when Kibaki was the leader of the opposition that was fighting the KANU government, he received campaign funds from Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. The other claim that Kibaki held was an issue for him in the 2007 general election. Whether the stories were true, far-fetched, or conspiracy, it was not discussed in the meeting. What was discussed is that the media had gone too far and they had to be stopped. In the meeting, they singled out 2 media stations, the Standard Group and Nation Media Group. As the meeting was coming to an end, the point of focus shifted to the Standard Media Group. There was suspicion that Moi had shares linked to the Standard Media Group, and therefore he had placed Kalenjin journalists to undermine the government of the day, since they were not in good terms with Kibaki. As the meeting concluded, it was decided that the Standard Media Group should be raided to stop the publication of the articles. Kibaki gave a go-ahead that the raid can be conducted. The then chief police summoned 15 men from the elite Kanga squad. As if that wasn't enough, they also brought in the 2 Armenian brothers who had jetted in secretly to Kenya back in December 2005, Artur Margaryan and Artur Sargaryan. The Armenian brothers became coordinators of the secret plot, and it's alleged that they're the one who conceived the hooded mask idea to cover their faces. The original plan was to bomb the entire A&M building, but they went for a softer option of vandalizing equipment at the Standard newspaper printing press and the KTN newsroom. In the wee early morning hours of 2nd March, Thursday, the green light for the raid to be conducted was given. 2 parallel raids were ongoing, one at A&M Standard Group office and the other one at Standard Printing Press in Likoni Road in industrial area. In less than 2 hours, inside A&M building, the Balaclava men dismantled computers equipment, CCTVs, and they switched off KTN. On the other side of Likoni Road, newspapers were banned, they seized printing equipment, computers, and they drove off with the delivery van, which was never returned to this day. Ironically, amidst the chaos and the vandalism, the papers did not contain the alleged article. The lead story in the Standard that day was about the top Kenyan certificate of secondary candidates.
It was the season that exams had been released 2 days before for Form 4 students. So we had produced a paper with the headline "Champions Speak," and that's the headline we had. Very innocent.
The aftermath was that KTN was switched for a period of 13 hours, and the big question was that who ordered the raid and what did they want?
We believe that this is a direct and blatant attempt to undermine the freedom of the press in this country as guaranteed by the Constitution.
There are no words strong enough to condemn the illegal, unconstitutional, undemocratic action taken against the Fourth Estate last night or early this morning.
What was only known that some of the goons were not Kenyan. All pointing fingers were accusing the state after this incident, and Kibaki did well avoiding interviews if his government was involved. The then Internal Security Minister, John Michuki, dropped the bombshell by pointing a clear picture of who was involved.
Na mambo ambayo ilikuwa huko ni mambo ya state security.
He uttered his infamous quote,
If you want to rattle a snake, you must be prepared to be bitten by it.
And just like that, the Artur saga was born.
The controversial saga of the two Armenian brothers, Artur Margaryan and Artur Sargaryan, resurfaced in Parliament.
And still in Parliament, former Internal Security Minister John Mishuki has been named as a key figure in the activities of the Artur brothers when they were in the country 4 years ago.
Brothers Saga believed to have implicated top government officials in the current and previous administration of underhand deals involving the two brothers.